She is emerging as a clear challenger to GOP frontrunner Mitt Romney, but is Congresswoman Michele Bachman the clear Tea Party candidate? Well, this morning, Bachman appeared on Fox and says that she can reach across the party lines to voters who are frustrated with the way things are run in Washington.
I have real crossover. I'm appealing to disaffected Democrats, independents, libertarians, as well as Republicans, and people who've never been political a day in their life. I think that's why the White House is so threatened by my candidacy for running, because I will have a broad appeal as a general candidate. And I think people are intrigued. They want to have someone of substance, someone with background.
Doug Schoen is a former pollster for President Bill Clinton and a Fox News contributor. He joins us now along with Ford O'Connell, who is chairman of the Civic Forum PAC and former director for rural outreach for John McCain's campaign. Thanks for being with us, both of you. Doug, let me start with you. And let's start with the latest Des Moines Register poll, and we'll put it up on the screen. I think this took a lot of people by surprise. Look at that. The alleged frontrunner, Mitt Romney, is neck and neck with Michele Bachman, who, of course, was born in Iowa. Is she the anti-establishment candidate?
Very clearly, yes, Greg. And if you're Mitt Romney, you look at these numbers and you say, I'm not sure I want to compete in Iowa, especially if the straw poll doesn't go the way he wants and Sarah Palin doesn't compete and Michele Bachman wins the victory August 13th. I think she's going to win. She becomes de facto the Tea Party candidate. This is huge for her, and she is trying to consolidate Tea Party support literally as we speak.
You know, I'm wondering, Ford, who's the Tea Party candidate, really? I mean, you've got a lot of people to choose from. Herman Cain, Sarah Palin, Rick Perry, maybe, Ron Paul.
Well, I think you've got a few candidates that can vie for that mantle. I'm not so sure that trying to solidify that mantle right now beyond Iowa is a good thing, because eventually general electability will come into it for the field. And once the field's narrowed down, we're going to say to ourselves, can this person win Florida? And while the Tea Party is important to make a good showing in Iowa, you're going to have to get beyond Iowa. And frankly, Rep. Bachman's going to have to become more of a refined candidate and cut down the gotcha moments. But right now, she's certainly the establishment mantle candidate. But should Rick Perry enter that race, some of the win could be taken out of her sails.
All right. I want to put up on the screen the Obama campaign spokesperson's statement, and this is just a part of it. But this caught our eye. She, referring to Michele Bachman, voted for a budget plan that would extend tax cuts for the richest Americans on the backs of seniors and the middle class while ending Medicare as we know it. That's the campaign theme, isn't it, Doug, for the Democrats?
Yeah, the Democrats are running on class warfare. They're using the Ryan plan as a proxy for the Republican Party. Basically, Obama doesn't really have a compelling argument to make for himself at this point. And we saw in New York 26, the special election, that a campaign against the Ryan plan worked. So that's what they're using, and that's what they're rolling out vis-a-vis Michele Bachman.
Ford, do you think somebody like Michele Bachman can really appeal to not only mainstream Republicans, but the key demographic you really need, which is the independents?
Well, I think you're going to need three demographics. You're going to need independents, Hispanics, and seniors, because it, again, comes down to Florida. If we don't win Florida, then the game's over. That said, if Michele Bachman becomes more of a refined candidate, she can make a serious run at the nomination.
Really? Doug, you?
Well, I think she is a refined candidate. I'm a Democrat. I've worked for Bill Clinton, but she looked pretty good answering Chris Wallace's question whether she was a flake. I think she's a serious candidate, and what she's trying to do is to basically preclude others getting in, like Rick Perry and like Sarah Palin, by solidifying her base on the right among social conservatives and Tea Party backers.
Doug, are you surprised that the campaign, the Obama campaign, immediately began to respond to Michele Bachman? I mean, generally, sitting presidents who are running for re-election, you know, their best strategy is to just ignore the opposition sometimes.
Sure, you ignore the opposition when you've got a good record to run on. The Obama administration, by their own acknowledgement, do not, and they're basically trying to take down any opponent who gets in their way. Michele Bachman is a potentially strong candidate. She is on the far right, but she's demonstrating that she's trying to cut across party lines. And, you know, if she wins Iowa, winning is winning and losing's losing, Greg. And if she wins Iowa, she is a force to be reckoned with.
Ford, is she too conservative to get elected?
Absolutely not. I think that we're in a center-right country. It's not about being too conservative. It's about articulating your points. And I agree with Doug. She's a very viable candidate, and she does have the White House scared. If she can overcome that and connect with the rank-and-file independents, she could not only win the nomination but defeat President Obama.
All right. Ford O'Connell and Doug Schoen, good to talk to you guys. Thanks so
Greg.
much.
Thank you.